When setting a text, I choose it because I believe in it. It's something that speaks to me. It's something that speaks to me in terms of what the artistic goal is for the work. So absolutely. I mean, I could set the phone book, but to what end? But that could be an interesting end. But the first instance, it has to speak to me, and I can see the possibilities with it. And then it's playing with that rhythm, and rhythm is so important with text. And from there, you sort of build and extrapolate. Text brings assumptions about rhythm. So speech rhythm, different languages have inflection, the way a language is spoken, hearing words. They're all things that are really important to consider. I like setting a whole range of texts, so prose, poetry, texts that are disjunct. Sometimes prose can be more interesting as a text than poetry, and in fact, some poets do not leave any space for music. The work is so complete, you don't need to set it almost because there's no room. Good lyrics, and I've worked with some good lyricists, they leave space, and you can create the new work because it's a collaboration between that text and your music. Without it ends up too busy. Setting text, it doesn't matter if it's well known or not. Well known can be a little bit challenging in that, that's where most of the punters will understand the text, and you setting it means you're actually dealing with something that's familiar, which can be an advantage. I set some poems by Michelangelo, which most people don't realise he was a writer, but beautiful text. And I set them in the Italian, and it was a real delight. I also work with writers who are not known at all. In fact, one writer who's not known as a writer, they just produced a text which I thought was a beautiful text. How do you interact? How does poetry and music interact? It varies. It's sometimes you can actually put a meta discourse on what the poetry is doing. So I think of it as like a counterpoint to what the poetry is doing, and so then you actually have that. You can enliven the actual words by having that type of approach. You've got to keep to the mechanics of there are some syllables that sustaining them are just silly. Well, silly from my aesthetic point of view, but some can actually be turned on their head and sort of made to be quite interesting. When you're looking at a text, sometimes it's good to sort of subvert text, play with it. When I wrote an opera, Captain Midnight, which is for children, to be able to play with the text in the same way as you have nonsense poetry playing with the text, its sound, its rhythm, that can become a point of musical invention. So it really is contextual. Sometimes there's text which I have deep reverence for, spiritual texts, which you're not looking to undermine it, but to uplift it. It has to be something more. It's no point setting something that it ends up being no more than what it was when it was a written form. I think that's really crucial. So when you set a text, the setting is something more. It's gestalt. It's more than that. Equally, if you took the words out, it would change it. It wouldn't be the same. Then you've got a real key and magical nexus between word and music.